Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video to the channel. So due to the update post in the video which we did yesterday regarding 110 firemaking being released to the game, I thought I'd run through a video going through a couple of firemaking methods to try and get the best and quickest XP, just in case you are a couple levels off or you've got a bit of XP left to get to that 110 firemaking. Now, one thing I'd like to throw out is I don't generally think that firemaking is going to have much to it in terms of the 110 update, which is why I think they sort of squeezed it in with the other two. But what I do think it will have is a rebalance, because at the minute the firemaking levels to make logs currently match the old woodcutting system, so we do need to be rebalanced. But there is always a possibility of extra incense sticks or ways which firemaking can bring a little bit of profit. But me personally, I would spend time, if you are lacking on the other skills, on either fletching or woodcutting. But I'd like to thank you all for the comments and likes on both videos yesterday. They went down really well for both of them. And if you are brand new to the channel, please hit that subscription button. It really does help me out. And please like the video if you are enjoying the content as well. Now, I imagine we're going to have a Christmas post at some point later today. And I will make that tomorrow's video in the midday. And then Marky Watch will be here for the later video as well. So in terms of firemaking, before we get started, obviously there's all the kind of boosts you can have for firemaking. So firemaking does have the portable brazier, which has a 10% base firemaking XP buff, but also a 14.4% chance to save logs. Not only that, by doing the all fired up quest, you have access to the firemaking gloves and ring, which is a 2% experience bonus per piece worn. Along with that, you have other things, including the orphan furnace core, the pitch can, which can really help and speed up your firemaking training. You do need to do Char's firemaking training, which can be a little bit of a nightmare, but again, it's a very good method. But if you've got someone who's got a pitch can, I imagine you're pretty much knowing of how to use it. It's an item which reduces the ticks required to firemake, and especially for doing traditional line firemaking, it is incredibly powerful. So the pitch can is a really good way to speed your firemaking up. You do need level 91 firemaking and to do Char's training, but again, once you have it, it is very, very good. Other things as well: clan avatar, premier artifact, wise perk, wisdom auras, and if you're doing this on World 84 with a brazier, you've got pulse cores, scepters, coins, and rocks. All of these are the normal buffs you'll find on World 84 or a portable world, but if you are going to be using a portable brazier, it's definitely worthwhile doing that for an even bigger XP buff, because they all jump on each other and it will just mean you'll be getting more XP per log. So what we're going to do in terms of this, I'm only really going to sort of talk from magic logs up, magic logs and above, because those are really the logs we're going to be using. This is more of a very high level firemaking guide or talk through, just to go through all these different methods. So the first one is obviously magic logs. Magic logs are currently 303.8 base XP per log and currently valued at 3 GP per XP. So pretty good and pretty cheap, to be fair. Firemaking, because the infinite amounts of logs coming in from PVM, really is a lot cheaper to do now, and you're not really paying as high prices as what you used to. Now, an item I really rate, even though like using the brazier is very good for doing like firemaking and stuff, if you're someone who has a lot of proteins, especially these protein logs, the protein logs are very, very good in terms of their AFK-ness, because you can use up to 60. Not only that, you can use the protein power-ups to make this even longer, and you can AFK up to 120 protein logs at once. Now, would I say there's better proteins to do? Yes, of course. The rune crafting, smithing are really good, as well as the hunter traps. But if you're looking for something pure AFK, and if you have the sheer amount available, I can show you that like this really will help you in terms of being AFK if you need some downtime to do this on the side. So it's the prolongers which you're looking for, which basically make it so that you can extend your protein interaction bar by double. So again, very nice and very decent to do that as well. Even though you don't get a sort of window as such, you do get the sort of prolonged proteins before your arms get tired. I don't know why the firemaking one doesn't have an interface option, but it really should. Just so you know roughly how far you are from being AFK. So as you can see, once we use the protein on here, it will act as if it's your top log. Here, I believe it's an elder log, which is really good XP, but again, you don't really want to do elder logs because of the GP related. Like magic logs are 3 GP each. Magic logs are 3 GP for an XP, whereas elder logs are 28 GP and XP. The price difference is just way too massive. So if you're going to do it by the brazier on World 84 and portable worlds, get all the portable buffs. For two options I would seriously recommend is protein logs for serious AFK or magic logs for actual firemaking training, but it will be very, very cheap. So again, 3 GP and XP, very good. Maybe you want to do a combination of both. Maybe when you need to be AFK to do something else, you use your proteins. And when you've got time to pay attention, you're going to use your magic logs. Whichever combination you want to do, of course, that can work. Now, because of Anachronia, we do have some different ways to train firemaking there. So I'm going to quickly go over to Anachronia, and we're going to go to the Ranch Before Time. And again, these are two massive money-making methods as well. Like, you can make a lot of GP doing these methods, or you can concentrate on and get the firemaking XP as well. So what I'm talking about is making flight propellant and also sharp shell shards. Now, these are very, very good firemaking XP per hour. And just to fit it in there as well, something I forgot to add was the XP per hour for the original logs. So if your protein logs match with old logs, which I believe they do, it will be 444,000 XP per hour. And magic logs will be 304. So there is a massive, massive difference in terms of the firemaking XP. However, with the elder logs, you are spending a considerable amount of GP for XP. Now, Anachronia firemaking does need extinction to actually be done, which is a big high tier quest, but again, very much worthwhile, because if you are looking for firemaking long term, this can be a serious way for you to train your XP for firemaking while making a huge amount of GP in the meantime. So what you can do is grab some of the dinosaur eggs from the big pile, and what we're going to be doing is throwing these into the incubator to basically cook the egg. Now, these rotten eggs or bad eggs, I have never found a use for them. You might be able to throw them into the compost bin, but in my opinion, it's not worth it. You can just drag them from your interface and get rid of all in one sort of click. So in my opinion, you're only after the good eggs. You can't throw the bad eggs in the fast incubator, just for good eggs, and they're going to turn into sharp shell shards. So for the sake of this video, I am going to stop there. You can also get unchecked dinosaurs from this as well, so that can also be a little bit of profit. And I'm going to throw these into the incubator. So in terms of XP from actually doing the shells in the incubator, you are looking roughly about 276.4 per egg. So pretty decent in terms of that. And what this can do will give you the sharp shell shards, which currently in terms of hourly profit is going to be 16.1 mil, and sort of XP per hour is going to be 300k. So it's very similar to the XP getting from magic logs, but you are sort of pulling 16 mil per hour as well, which is actually pretty huge in terms of making profit. And this is one of the ways you can make money from firemaking. So with these sharp shell shards, you can either use these in making the dino arrows, or in fact you can actually ignite them. And this actually gives you an interface where you're going to do 60 of the firemaking of the sharp shell shards. It's going to give you 3 minutes of pretty much full AFK, and the benefit of doing these is that you can actually do this, say, on World 84 and the Porters, and get all the buffs as if you were doing it with magic. So it's going to be more AFK than magics, and in terms of their price, I imagine they're going to be similar price because of the changes to this. Yeah, it's going to be a similar price to a magic log. So if you want another option, if the protein logs aren't there, actually igniting sharp shell shards are going to be similar to magic, but way more AFK if you are looking to do that as well. So because of a similar XP to magic, you are roughly going to get about 300k XP, pretty similar to the magic logs as well. But if you want to come and make these yourself and sell them, you are going to be about 280k XP per hour, but you will be pocketing up to 16 mil per hour, which is pretty decent. So along with that, there is a slightly higher level and more profitable way to firemake, and that is actually making dinosaur propellant. Can't remember when Jagex did this, but they did an update to this method of firemaking, which has made it significantly better. So basically, in terms of explaining what this method is, you go to the storm bomb here, and what we're going to do is force feed dinosaurs till they explode. So what you do, there are 4 troughs around this sort of area, and you go and you feed each one of your dinosaurs. So what used to happen is that only so many of your invo ate at certain spots. So for a lot of the time, you had half an invo of half-eaten dinosaurs, whereas now it's everyone eats at the same one. You can do it a lot more efficiently, and it's way easier to do now as well. So once you completely feed them at one spot, you then go to the next one, and then the next one, and the next one, until eventually they explode. And then after that, you ignite what is basically left, and then it creates fertilizer, which you can then flight on dino arrows, so you do make profit from it. But not only that, you get incredible XP with that as well. So currently, dinosaur propellant is 16.4 mil profit per hour, and 660k XP an hour. It's incredible XP. And again, in terms of what it really isn't that hard of a sort of money-making method or fire-making method. You do need level 95 fire-making to be able to do this though, and the extinction quest. But as you can see, you basically run around the 4 spots. The other one is here. And then we'll go through when it happens. They explode or they sort of run off and leave you with their remains. And then you turn that into fertilizer. So we are finished here. And then finally we go to the last one. But this is probably the one I'd recommend. Not only is it going to be the best XP you're going to get, it actually outperforms Elder Logs, but it's going to make you significant GP as well. 660k XP per hour is pretty massive. Like, in terms of a money-making method, you're not going to get that kind of rate of XP with that much GP per hour. So as you can see, the little dinosaurs are now running off, and they are leaving behind their fertilizer. Now what we have to do is ignite this, which is then going to give us the dinosaur propellant we need to shaft on the arrows to make dino arrows. So by doing this, you have a full interface as well, but you're going to get 1.2k XP a drop just from fire making this. And as you can see by the info, we're making money with the propellant there as well. So each info you actually fire make is going to be a 30k XP. And by doing like 22 invos per hour, you are really going to get the XP here and make a lot of money at the same time. So really all you need to do is make sure that you're quick and you're moving over time. If you can surge and bloody dive around, that will only be a benefit as well. But as you can see in the info, we are racking up this dinosaur propellant. I don't know what the price is nowadays, but it used to be expensive. 880 GP each, but again, because we get so much more, this is what they did with Anachronia Firemaking. They made it so you got more propellant, but they kind of balanced it in a way where with more coming in and the price going down, you're still making pretty much the same GP you used to. So there you go, 815 dinosaur propellant from that. That is one invo, and that literally took me 3 minutes to do, and there's 717k. So again, you are looking to be about 22 23 invos per hour, and you can definitely get up to that 660k fire making XP an hour. But that is a quick run through of 4 or 5 ways to get some insane fire making XP, just in case you're a little bit off the 110. Again, I really don't think it's going to be massive in terms of what it's going to do. Fire making is going to impact. It's such a passive and not really involved skill. The only thing I can think of is possibly there's going to be a new tier of incense stick, which will be interesting anyway, because I think they might have a big effect, but then again, it needs a new herb to go on, so who knows what it's going to be. Again, we'll wait for the update post and go through the update post. If you're looking to have 110 fire making before it starts, and you're only a little bit off, again, to do like a considerable amount of fire making before the update starts, yes, it's going to take an awful lot of time, but if you're a couple levels off and a couple mil XP off, and you're looking for ways to do it really quick or really AFK, hopefully the options we've gone through these videos will be able to cover that as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what your thoughts are about the fire making update below. Are you doing anything for it, or are you going to put your time in fletching and woodcutting? Me personally, I've got the levels anyway, but I would focus more on fletching and woodcutting because I think they're going to have more of an effect and impact as well. But thank you guys for watching. If you have enjoyed, please again drop me a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.